time. Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us this afternoon. Such a pleasure to be here. My name's Natalie. I'm from Hospital Rooms, and we have organised today's session with the wonderful Susie Hamilton as part of this year's Art Car Boot Fair, Flora and Fauna edition. And I'm so thrilled, before we kind of get into it, to introduce you to Karen Ashton, who is the Director of Art Car Boot Fair, who's just going to say a few words and to welcome everyone. So let me put you on spotlight, Karen, and yeah, let me tell you.
Lovely. Well, thanks very much, Natalie. And when you came to us with this, the idea of Susie Watch for the hospital, for the Art Car Boot Fair programme of the day, we were delighted because obviously we love Susie, and you're a new participant in the Art Car Boot Fair, and it's really nice to do something together, to do something that's interactive. Susie has basically really pushed the boat out for this event with such fabulous work, bears and lorises and beautiful, beautiful, beautiful paintings. I do encourage everybody to buy one and buy another one as well for a friend, because they're just the most beautiful, beautiful paintings, very, very enchanting. So yes, I hope you enjoy Susie Watch. I am going to be sitting here with my well, I'm going to find my pen and pencil and try and draw some of the animals. Thanks very much, Natalie, and thanks Susie as well.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Karen. I'm just going to, there we go. I'm just going to bring myself onto spotlight here. So yes, thanks everyone for joining us. I'm going to pass this over to Susie really shortly. Just a couple of really small housekeeping notes. Firstly, the session is being recorded, so it'll be available to watch anytime on the Art Car Boot Fair website. Secondly, if you have any questions throughout, you can pop those in the Q&A and I will moderate those and pass those on to Susie. So just pop your questions in Q&A. But I'm going to now hand over to Susie, who's going to give us an introduction. Last quick piece of housekeeping. The best way to view today's session is going to be in the gallery side-by-side mode. And if you go onto that, then you can click these little lines to the side of the presentation on the left, just so you can see what Susie's doing, and you can also see the slideshow. So that's my top tip. I'm just going to pass over to Susie now. Bear with me. Please. Susie, are you there?
I am. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Right. Shall I start?
So over to you, Susie.
Okay, thank you, Natalie, and thanks so much, Karen, for your very kind words. And I'm delighted to be collaborating with Hospital Rooms and doing the Boot Fair again. And I hope people enjoy this session. And I'm just briefly going to show you the sort of work I do. These are some of the bears, one of the bears that I've done for the Boot Fair. And this is one of the lorises, and done on recycled cardboard as a gesture towards recycling, because it's a very endangered species. And these are some of the, I don't know if you can see, gorillas that I've been doing before the session, just to get into the mood, because we're going to do some gorillas and baboons in Africa and some bears in Alaska. Also, if we have time, I might do an iPad drawing, because I've been practicing on my iPad, and I quite like the flat color and the quickness of execution on this medium. Right, so I think we're going to get started. I don't want to take up too much time. I might use some cardboard as well, because I like using that, as with the loris pictures. I've got some cardboard handy. Okay, so I think Molly is going to show us some footage of the creatures in Africa, the baboons. And the baboon is an animal I've worked with quite a bit. I'm very fond of their thick fur and the way they kind of resemble other creatures, because sometimes they look like lions, sometimes like dogs. They sort of have a metamorphic quality, and I love I love their bronze eyes and beautiful manes and so on. So we're just going to watch this for a bit, and then I'm going to do some paintings from stills of the baboon. I don't know how long you want to go on, Molly. Do you want me to get started on the painting?
Yeah, maybe we, yeah, Molly can bring up the stills. And the thing worth mentioning to everyone is that all of the videos that we're watching today are from a website called explore.org. So you can go on any time and watch a whole array of videos. So I'll pass back over to you, Susie.
Right, okay. I'm going to get started on this baboon here. And as with my usual work, I kind of simplify things. I put on a ground all over the painting, all over the paper to sort of unify everything. And I smooth it out and dry it with kitchen roll, which is very handy. And then I go into the creature, and I sort of block in quite quickly the basic shapes and the basic tones with colors. So we've got this baboon on a rock here, and just drawing in the the rock underneath. And then there's a rather nice sort of bluish, where the light falls on the side. It's a sort of nice bluish color. And then to make definition, because I don't want everything just to be too, I don't want the shapes just to be too large or vague. I want there to be a bit of fineness and definition. So I shall go in with lines. And in order to be able to put the lines on with pastel, I may have to use a hairdryer to dry things out a bit quickly.
Just one quick note to everyone watching. If you view this session in the side-by-side speaker mode, which is just in the top right corner, you can click the two little lines that are next to the image of the baboons on the left, and you can make Susie's screen a lot bigger. So have a go with that and let me know how you get on. But that should be a good way of being able to see what Susie's doing bigger and also see the screen on the left. Thank you, Susie.
I'm just putting in a bit more tone in the background. And while it's drying, while the baboon body is drying, I'm going to, I've got to be careful with all these devices here, my phone and so on. I'm going to put in the reddish rock here. And maybe some sort of simple definition of landscape, branches and bits of vegetation, for example. Now I want to, with black, I want to put in the snout, the eye of the baboon. So I'm just drying that a bit. Okay, and then I like the cross-looking face, the straight eyebrows. It has a sort of paw like that. So I'm putting in a bit of line to suggest the features. Maybe a bit of black to define the now, where are his feet and legs? I can't quite see. I think we've got a paw coming down here. If we haven't, I'm going to make it up. Okay. Right. And the tail like that. Okay, there's a baboon there. Can we go on to the next one, please, Molly? Right. So again, I'm going to make quite a sort of simple background. I think I might do this one where they're grooming each other. I can see part of the screen, not totally, can't see the total picture. But I'm going to make this pinkish African earth here. A bit too pink, maybe a bit of white there. And then with my green, I've got this mixed up color. It's Lasco acrylic, but I've made it a bit more watery. I didn't want it to be too thick. I want the background to be paler, I think, because I want the baboons to show up against the earth. Right, now I'm going to paint the baboons in. I'm using quite naturalistic colors here. So they're grooming, which is what they do. Some little hooked tail going around here like that. And then the other one, which is being groomed. I suppose he's picking out fleas or something like that. And their nice long snout. The arm extended like that. And this lovely bulk of fur, this chunky fur body, I like. Some people think they're ugly, but maybe the bottoms are a bit, but everything else is very lovely, I think. Bit of a tree in there, maybe a bit of line. I quite like to be contrast in a picture. So as I said, you know, having line and tone, for example, bits of line and marks suggesting the landscape or the texture of the earth. All right. I don't know if you can see this, can you?
Yes, that looks great, Susie.
Okay. So
I've just changed this to gallery view to everyone. It should be that people can see Susie's screen sort of larger, but let me know in the Q&A if you're having any issues seeing this.
I'm just, as with the first baboon, it's a bit too wet to make this work very well, but I'm putting in a bit of a finer line here to give it a contrast and to suggest tone. If I knock my phone out of the right angle, Natalie, let me know, will you?
I will.
Okay, there we have some baboons. Now I think I might move on to this standing baboon over there, right? I'm putting them just down here for now to dry. And again, we've got the same sort of color, this bleached out landscape of green and reddy brown, Indian red, I think it's called. So I've got a nice big brush here to cover the paper quite quickly. Too dark. I don't know where you can see baboons in this country. I suppose they're in a zoo somewhere, but maybe in a wildlife park. It's good to go and draw from life if possible. I did go to Paignton Zoo once to draw them, but I'm not sure that they're there anymore. Right, whoops, never mind. Some more grooming going on here. I'm going to put a tail in. Right. And then the standing one. I think I might use a bit of a darker blue colour, give it a bit of contrast. I'm putting the tail in a different direction because I feel it needs something up in this corner. Nice delicate legs. I think I might put a shadow in. I like shadows. It's obviously a hot country. Sunlight and a bit of maybe a bit of texture on the fur here. Again, the angry eyebrows and the snout, and a few lines to suggest the magnificent furs of the baboon. Okay, right. I mean, you know, they may need reworking later, but I don't like to do too much. I like things to be quite quick, simple, direct, and spontaneous. Okay, Molly, shall we move on to the next animal now?
Yes. So
Oh, there's another baboon there.
there's one more. We can go on to the next set of animals if you like. Up to you.
Okay, we could. How are we doing for time? We're all right, aren't we?
Yeah, it's 3:20, Susie. So maybe it would be good to.
We'll get on to the next one, I think.
We're going to Alaska.
Hooray.
Off we go.
Never been, but I'm sure it's wonderful. Bears.
Here we are.
So this is actually, this is in Alaska, and this again is from explore.org, and it's a live feed that can be watched all the time. So Susie, I think we've been following this, haven't we, for like the last week or so? Having a look at this.
Yeah, I've been looking at it a lot.
And Molly, maybe if you could bring up a couple of the stills that Susie has selected.
Pretty. Should we start with this one then, or shall we look at the others?
So we have this one, and this 4, or this guy standing.
And then there's a sort of teddy, isn't there? There's a sort of blonde teddy there somewhere.
This guy?
Teddy, yeah. Okay. I'll start with that teddy, I think.
Cool.
Right. So I'm going to put in a background and maybe for a change, just draw the rough shape of the bear. They're watching for salmon. All these films are to do with them catching salmon in the river. Right. Sorry.
Susie, we've had a question actually about the paints that you're using. Are these colours that you've mixed yourself, or are they sort of straight out of the tube?
Mainly out of the tube or the bottle. These are Lasco paints from bottles like that, but I've thinned them down with water. And this green, actually, I have mixed a bit. I wanted it a bit yellower than the green in the bottle. So, but most of them are just straight out of the bottle. So this is it's a sort of honey-coloured bear, isn't it? With a almost white face here. Then I'm seeing the water as bluish, so that's what I'm putting on here. With a bit of darkness in the sort of shadow of the bank there. Now I need to work on I've got the sort of landscapey bit in, but I need to work on the body. Using a bit of orangey white. And they have these long snouts, which are usually paler than the rest of the body. And then they have quite small, close together eyes. As you can see, I use anything available, my hands, towel, kitchen towel, anything. So a bit of fur and shadow under here. Bit of tone where it's turned away from the light. Maybe a bit more darkness underneath here. Where the leg merges with the water. And I think maybe the green around the body needs to be a bit darker to bring out the paleness of the bear. I think it's quite important to work with sort of strong, simple shapes if possible, to give it a sort of design and maybe a dynamic between the contrast between different shapes. Okay, I'm going to move on to another bear now. Maybe a few lines. Right, thanks, Molly. I'm just making a few lines of the foliage down there to contrast with the shapes. I like the contrast of line and shape. Right, so here he is up on a stone, a rock. I mean, you can obviously use very unnaturalistic colours like the picture that Natalie showed you of mine of a lemur in pinks and mauves. But for now, I'm sticking fairly close to the facts, to nature, perhaps because these are early attempts and maybe later on I might develop these with other colours. you know, using a limited palette, for example, just choosing a few pinks or reds and maybe that should be bluer, the water. Right, that needs to be drier, I think, because otherwise it's going to, what I put on top is going to bleed out too much. Okay, here goes. So the bear's head, and then it's got an arm like that coming down. It's sort of leaning and scratching itself, I think.
Susie, if it's someone's first time sort of working like this, would you recommend sort of working quite quickly?
Yeah, I mean, I think you can, maybe the first time you could get to know the animal by working more slowly, building up the shapes, looking at the way it's put, the way the animal is put together, as it were, how it's been made. And then I think if it's me, I think I tend to work quite quickly, tend to work slowly to start with. And then as I get to know the animal better, I speed up. But I don't know, it's difficult to say, really. I think you just see what works. But I think making sort of slower studies to start with is quite a useful way of proceeding. I want some lighter colour here, some paler colour. So I'm using a yellow. To suggest where the light is falling on the edge of his fur. Now I want some line in this, and I'm going to get the hairdryer again. Sorry about this unpleasant noise. Thing is, if I had longer, I could wait and it could dry, but I don't. Just putting the darker green around here. Maybe some paler, like we've got in the photograph, some paler lines to suggest the vegetation. And then this is why I dried it with the hairdryer. I want to use a black pastel. Where's the black? Lost it. Okay, I'll use something else. But I'm using a pastel to suggest, to make an eye and the nose. and maybe some claws, quite important for a bear. Okay, on to the next bear, please, Molly.
Yes.
Can you see that bear or not? Okay.
Yes, that one looks great.
See.
Would you
Right.
like multiple bears at once or just a single bear?
Oh, I think I'd like, what would I like? There's a bear standing up. I think could I have him, please? Oh, no, I'll do him, shall I?
Absolutely.
Thanks, Molly. Right. So this is quite a bulky bear, isn't it?
We've had a lovely comment, Susie, which is that your greens are wonderful. Maggie saying she can never seem to get a good green. Do you have any tips?
Well, I'm afraid it's straight from the bottle. So I said to someone earlier, it's almost, I just buy Lasco green. It's called olive green. It's Lasco Studio Paint from AP Fitzpatrick in Bethnal Green. Right, so I'm using the white of the paper here to suggest the water, because that's the way it's appearing to me in this still. And then I'm using a reddish brown to suggest the bulk of the bear. I need to dry that a bit, and I'm going to put the bear against this dark background in part, and I'm trying to break it down into the simple shapes that you get in the picture. And there's this snout that I talked about, the longish pale snout. And the body up here, the muscular shoulders, they're very pronounced, the bear's shoulders. Need more white. So we've got the light falling on these shoulders and on the back. And then also on the large head. And then below, there's quite a lot of darkness. There's darkness of the tone down here and under here. So all this is one sort of big dark shape. And then there's a sort of shadow there on the water. Then this is sort of mid-tone. Ears. Okay. Right. And then I'm going to try to make the eyes don't want to spend too long with that awful noise. So it's not as dry as it should be, but eyes close together, little close together eyes, nose, bit of tone in the ear. Suggestion of, I think there's a leg done. I mean, there is a leg. I'm just trying to see how it goes. It's a bit indeterminate. Okay, and then I think I like to have a bit more shadow down here. And then a suggestion of, slightly looser, more liquid mark. The suggestion of the water. And then this shape here needs to be more crisp. This shape here, more like that. Bringing back a bit of ripple in the water there. And I think the green up here it feels too light to me. You need to see it from a distance, but I think it's not. Okay, that feels better. Right. With a lighter color, I'm just going to put in a few lines again to suggest the branches up here. Okay, there's a bear, right? I'm going to put this over here now.
We've had some lovely comments, Susie, just saying that these are so beautiful. And asking if these will be put up for sale this weekend. And I don't think so, but you've got a beautiful range of paintings that are on your page, haven't you? Sort of lorises and bears.
Karen very kindly talked about the lorises and the baboons and some parrots and various other creatures from my bestiary. But these are going to you, Natalie, to hospital rooms.
I think so, which is incredibly kind of you. Should we? I'm just looking at time. It's 20 to 4. So should we move on to?
Yeah, the gorillas.
Gorillas.
I was going to do the standing bear, but I'm afraid there's no time. Okay.
I'll admit, Susie, that I'm the gorillas are actually my favourite. So gorgeous.
All right, that's. Oh, this is the moving stuff. Yeah. I think it's from the Democratic Republic of Congo, isn't it?
That's right. Yeah.
That's a lovely one. I didn't see that one before, because they change every time I look at the footage. It changes.
Yeah, I think they've got a few cameras, obviously, within the same park, and then they, depending on where the video is set off because of movement, then they change. So maybe we'll go to some of the stills that Molly's got here.
Should we do the single gorilla first? Could I?
Oh, absolutely. This guy?
Yeah, I could do him. Right. Okay.
And there's also this guy.
Off we go. Oh, I might do him. Okay. Off we go. I was going to do cardboard, but I'll try and remember a cardboard one. Next one. put in some foliage in slightly more detail later. I mean, and I don't use a huge amount of detail, as you can see. So these gorillas, I've got it mixed already. Someone asked about mixing paint. I did mix a sort of blacky ultramarine colour because I thought the gorillas, I didn't realise they had this lovely sort of ultramarine colour, this blue that they are. So this is just getting the basic shape. Actually, I think I need this big brush for this. I'm just making the sort of gorilla shape. It's got folded arms there. And a big round belly. And then more kitchen roll, I think. Oh dear. Just blotting it a bit so it doesn't get too so it doesn't run too much. So I've got some mixed up lighter blue ultramarine for the head, because the snout, the head, has this lovely mauvey blue colour. So I'm just putting in a bit of tone, a bit of fur. And these cross eyebrows it has too. And then I don't think I won't bother with the hairdryer. I'll just put some black in and hope it works for the eyes. So this is all a slightly bluey black, a bluey Payne's grey. Some fur on the belly there. And then I'm going to, with pastels, make some leaves. He's in a sort of bower, isn't he? Or she. So I'm going to make some quite decorative leaves around here. Maybe use some yellow. Right, I'm going to leave it at that. You may think that's not right, but I feel that I want to leave it now. Move on to another gorilla. Okay. Et voila. Right, please, Molly, something else. I'll do him, shall I? Yeah, I'll do him.
Yeah, I think we've got time for one more.
Oh, just one more, is it?
Well, we've got
Okay.
15. We've got sort of just under 15 minutes, so it's up to you, Susie.
Okay, well, maybe two more. I'll have a look. I'll have a go. We'll see. I can't see the whole landscape, Natalie. Is that right? I'm seeing us. Maybe it's just because the pictures, the gorilla is on the right of the screen, so I can't see much of him.
I can try and move it over a little bit so you can.
I can manage though, Molly, it's all right. So just a rough green ground. I don't go into trying to paint all the leaves and so on. Couldn't possibly. And whoops, not very good. Get rid of that. Then I'll put in there, hiding in the leaves there. I think I will need the hairdryer. I'm sorry, I will. Okay, so this is for the eyes. It's not dry enough. No.
The noise from the hairdryer really isn't bad at all, Susie. So if you need
Isn't
to,
it?
no.
Okay. The thing is, yeah, it just takes a bit of time, longer than it takes to dry my own hair. So, I'm just making the angry eye and the mouth, and they have an ear up there, and they have a white eye, in this case, shining out. So I'm going to get the end of the brush and make two furious eyes in there, quite close together, like that. And then I might do more leaves. I'm hoping just to have time to do another gorilla there. And the head is more like that. It's got this deep head. Right. And fur. I love fur on animals. I mean, you can be quite decorative with these leaves and make sort of, I don't know, arabesques with them, and all these plants coming down. I can't see what's going on to the right of it. I'm going to make something up. I feel like we need some marks over here. Maybe some some yellow. To suggest that he's in this sort of bower. Okay, I better leave it. And then we could do maybe one more, maybe? Or isn't the time, Natalie?
No, I think we've got time for one more for sure.
All right.
This one look to you, Susie.
Yeah, we'll try and do one more, just one more. Of course, there's quite a complicated one of the three. Should we see the three, Molly? I'll see how I get on. There's the three gorillas.
Yes. Can you see the three of them?
No,
No.
I've got the one.
share.
I've still got the single man.
I will just reshare my screen quickly.
There we are.
Perfect.
Thank you. So on goes the green. And then some bluey black. But I hope it's not too wet. I'm just making the basic shapes of the heads and leaving some gaps where I want the paler tones to be. So with another brush, I'm doing the paler blue for the nose and so on. Can't quite see what's happening down here. I think that one's got his hand on that one's shoulder. Now I need a thin brush to make some eyes and so on. The ear set back quite far in the head. Wrong. Bit of fur, fingers. Okay, and now I'm going to just quickly put in some leaves to push the gorillas back in space, because the leaves are in the foreground and suggesting the gorillas are in a sort of, again, in this sort of secret bower, hiding as they need to from humans. Right, I reckon we're almost out of time. How are we doing, Natalie?
So it is just gone 5 to 4, so perfect timing.
Right, okay. I could do more, but I won't. Otherwise we'll run out of time. All right.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Susie. It's been just so mesmerizing watching you work as always.
Everybody.
And I'd encourage everyone who has followed today, and if you've enjoyed what you've seen, please do check out Susie's page at Art Car Boot Fair. There is the most amazing selection of works there, all types of animals, just absolutely beautiful work. So that's on Art Car Boot Fair, which is obviously running the whole weekend. I'd also like to thank everyone for coming today. If you don't know about us, we are Hospital Rooms, and we are an arts and mental health charity that transforms inpatient mental health units with contemporary art. Susie is part of the Hospital Rooms family, and we're so thrilled to have worked with her on several projects. Most recently, the one that you can see on the screen, Just at Askew, which is a PQ, a men's psychiatric intensive care unit in London. And Susie worked with us on just the most incredible, expansive artwork for the people at that unit, which is going to be there permanently now for those people to enjoy. So we do lots of various online workshops, which we started in response to COVID-19, and it's called the Hospital Rooms Digital Art School. So if you enjoyed what you saw today, and we run them every week from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. They're completely free. They're open to mental health units and the general public. We also have a huge library of past sessions which are available to watch on our YouTube channel. So just search Hospital Rooms. You can also sign up for our mailing list, which is on hospitalrooms.com, and that gives you a weekly update about what workshop is coming up, all the materials that you need, and the Zoom link. So like I said, if you want to have a look on YouTube, you can check out all of our past videos. You can also upload any of the artworks that you make during any of the sessions, and we love to see them and share them on our social media. So I'd like to thank you again for coming today. We have a booth ourselves at the Art Car Boot Fair, so please do check that out. We've got a £50 Sight Unseen limited edition with Richard Wentworth, another artist that we've worked with, and we also have a beautiful selection of original works and some limited editions, so do check it out. But I'd love to say thank you to Karen, Vanessa, Y, everyone at the Art Car Boot Fair who's helped make this possible, Molly for helping with all the screen sharing today, and also of course to Susie for being completely wonderful. And as always, we've had the best week looking at lots of gorillas and sort of creatures everywhere. So do have a check out explore.org where you can see all those videos if you want to get creative as well. So thanks everyone.
I wanted to say thank you. I wanted to say thanks to you, Natalie, Molly, Karen, everybody for joining. Thank you.
Oh, a pleasure, Susie. Thank you so much, everyone. And a recording of this is going to be on the Art Car Boot Fair website as well, so you can check it out if you want to watch it again. Thanks, everyone. Have a great weekend and see you soon. Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye, everybody. Thank you.